So, one of the things that cuts across all religions is love. I mean, I don't think I know a religion or a spirituality that goes, you don't need to do that. I don't think there's one. It's a central piece of really just about everyone I know of. And the reading from today is taken from a guy named Rumi. You ever hear of Rumi? Good. I'll tell you all about him, all right? And he's a guy who followed Islam back in the day. So I can't remember when, 14th, 15th century maybe, something like that. He lived in Afghanistan or somewhere like that in the Middle East. And he was just this lovely man who, you ever see the whirling dervishes? He's the one that came up with that form of prayer. Because that's what that is. That's a form of prayer. To mimic the spinning of the galaxies and connect yourself to all of it. Fun cocktail party conversation right here, right? You could say, did you know? All right, so that's what he did, and he writes these words that are in our reading. He says, whenever we manage to love without expectations, calculations, negotiations, we are indeed in heaven. I'll read it one more time. Whenever we manage to love without expectations, calculations, negotiations, we are indeed in heaven. Isn't that beautiful? But it's not just beautiful words to kind of abstractly think about. It's a call to live. It's a call to live your life this way, or to at least try it out. And my big suggestion for you and for me is to not try it out with the hardest person in the world. All right? Don't start with the hardest people, the people you have the hardest time with. Start with the people who are closest to you, who it's easy to love on many days. All right? Well, I mean, I think, for me anyway, I think that's what's so great about babies and pets. For me, so I'm just going to make it personal. For me, they give me a place to love. They give me something to love. And this is how important love is, Rumi says. When you do it, you experience heaven. When you do it, the way the Christian world would say, unconditionally. All right? So, in order for me to see it, in order for you to see it, let me tell you a quick story. So, I saw this movie on, I think it's Apple TV, and it's called Palmer. Has anybody seen that? Yeah, it's really bad. No, it's really, really a good movie, I thought. It's not heavy action. It's a character picture. It's a relationship picture. I guess what some people would call a chick flick. All right, but I really liked it, and part of what I really loved about it was this guy Palmer, who is a rough guy who's got out, went to prison for something he did when he was younger, and got out. His whole life is, in a sense, saved because he's able to love this young boy, and the boy likes more of what our society says girls are supposed to like than boys are supposed to like. Get what I mean? Here's a for instance. So it's Halloween, and this little boy, his name is Sam, likes nothing more than this TV show that has three fairies. Fairies with wings. And they're like fairy superheroes. And he loves watching this show. All right? Now, what the Palmer guy initially says is, how many boys do you think watch this show? This show is geared totally for girls. And his response is, well, I'll be the first boy. All right? So for Halloween, he wants to be one of these fairies. And this guy Palmer's trying to get him the best he can to be a boy thing. But no, 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 no. So finally he gives in and lets him do it. And he wears the fairy costume to class. And what happens is what Palmer was afraid was going to happen. He gets made fun of. He gets ridiculed. And at one point, he's getting ridiculed so bad, the whole class is laughing at him. And then the teacher walks in. And the teacher is dressed like the principal. And the principal is a man. And the teacher is a woman. Get it? So she comes in as the man and says, isn't it great that on this day we can dress however it is that we want and we can be whatever it is we want to be? And her love for that child, represented in dressing the way she dressed, changed the whole nature of the place, changed the whole classroom. The whole place became a place of acceptance rather than ridicule. And what Rumi says is, and there is heaven. There is heaven. See, the thing for me is this. Sometimes I can't do that. Sometimes I can't do what the teacher did. I love teachers because they do stuff like that usually. Sometimes I can't. And when I can't, that's what I mean by pets and babies. All right? So when I can't love people like you because you're just on my nerve, right? I turn to my dog or my granddaughter because it's so important to love. Love is like a muscle to use. And the more we use it, the more we can do it. The more we love, the more love we have to give away. That's the way it works. And even then sometimes my babies and dogs are just on my nerve. Especially when it thunders, my dog freaks. All right? So then it's like I got a tree in the backyard. And I can love the tree. The thing is, it's so important to do it. We need to love. And if you can't find anybody else for whatever reason, then start with yourself. Some things would say start with yourself to begin with anyway, because you can't love anybody else if you can't love yourself. You decide which is at work for you. For some people, it's love your neighbor as yourself. For some people, it's love yourself as your neighbor. What works for you? Whatever it is, do it. Because whenever we manage to love without expectations, calculations, negotiations, we are indeed in heaven. All right. Can I get an amen? All right.